We are live.
Hmm.
Live to tape.
I hate that they moved the chat over to the right side of the screen.
I know, this is a different
Button for it.
interface.
It pisses me
Different
off.
interface
I don't
than
want it to change.
than the interface that was there like 2 weeks ago. Different now. It's different.
Yep.
But all right. How you guys doing? Good?
I'm
All
fine.
Right, let's start the show. Hello and welcome to episode 795 of the Player One Podcast for Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Word to your mother, CJ.
Word to your mother, indeed. How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing, Greg?
I got a TV.
Oh, you did?
That's good.
I did, yep.
Congratulations.
My threatening email to Best Buy corporate worked.
Wow. How
Excellent.
threatening was it?
It wasn't that threatening.
Oh, okay.
You said, I demand
More
satisfaction.
I more or less
You
did
got
say
it.
that, yes. And hey, look, within 2 days, I got a call from the local Best Buyery that my new TV was waiting for me.
I like
Could
it.
you explain
So-
that you were running their name through the mud on the most popular video game podcast
No,
on the internet?
no.
Greg was on Giant Bomb?
I mostly just
Mhm.
Gaming Steve.
Oh man, Gaming
I
Steve. Are you Gaming Steve? No, I'm not, but
no,
I know
I could
of
be
him.
if I wanted to.
Yeah.
No, but it was amazing how quickly it got resolved.
Oh, good.
Once I went past Geek Squad, and then the best part was I got my my satisfaction survey from Geek Squad like that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was awesome.
whoops.
Never
Give
have
him
I
a
so
nice-
wanted to fill out a satisfaction survey
I know.
in my life.
I know that feeling. That's so delicious.
Any
You're
notes?
falling right
Yes.
into my trap.
Yes. Next time you send a survey, can you have numbers lower than 0 for me to choose?
I had the Geek Squad come and mount my television. I think
It doesn't
and
sound
then
like the way you use a television at all.
And then they hung it up on the wall.
Sounds,
And
yeah, it
they
sounds
hung it up on the
explicit.
wall. Yeah, they hung it up above the fireplace. It was real good. Real good. Yeah.
There you go.
Listen,
Nice.
Geek Squad, because I've had them come in to do that sort of thing as
Mhm.
well, and that's always great.
Yeah.
It was just the
warranty service.
The warranty service is terrible.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
That's the stuff you pay for.
Yeah.
that's
Pay
the
extra
stuff you
for.
pay for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
So you're in your new place now.
I know. Can you tell?
No, it looks exactly like your
exactly
old
the
room.
It
same.
does look
Except
exactly like
you
the
have
room
just
with the
some
boxes.
Cardboard boxes
Uh,
now.
Yeah, there's cardboard boxes. There's the bookshelf that you may recognize, and then
That's-
also
yeah.
the cat tree right there.
Yep. No, this
Yeah.
this
Same.
whole
I
I'm
thought you were
moving.
building a studio. I thought you were building like a streaming studio. There's not
No,
nearly
no.
enough lights everywhere.
This seems
Oh,
like it was
that's
just an
true.
elaborate excuse to take last
You're-
week off.
Your collar is much too high.
It was what?
Your collar.
Oh, I don't
You're
have a
streaming
collar.
now, CJ. You gotta get the
Nope.
scoop.
I don't
gotta
understand
get
the
your Gemini
terminology
earphones.
you're
Talking
using.
about your cleavage.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta.
You
There,
want to see-
that's
it
there.
is.
Oh
There
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
you
you do
like
that again, but just slower?
Mhm.
Okay.
I think I saw
Well.
a couple hairs there. My goodness.
Nah, our boy's
I
growing
know.
up.
When you pulled that shirt down.
He's such a
Growing
man
boy.
now.
Yeah. My goodness.
I did move. I've moved.
I believe
To a
it.
New place.
I believe it. What I'm trying to identify that licensed Monopoly game on the floor behind you there.
Yeah, it's
What
the
is that?
Cheaters edition. No,
What
it's
is it?
Oh, cheers?
Monopoly Cheaters edition.
Oh, cheaters.
Cheaters
Cheaters.
edition?
Cheaters.
What is
yeah, it
that?
lets you cheat.
Oh,
in some
I mean,
form.
you don't need to be allowed to cheat.
Yeah.
Cheating
the
by its
game's
very nature is not in the rules.
if they explain how to cheat on
It's
the
not
rule
cheating
sheet,
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh
Is that I mean,
Well,
what's
this
it
one-
tied? Is it
is
tied
it-
into something?
no, it's not tied into anything. No.
What's the picture? Is that Monopoly Man on the cover? Is that Rich
Yeah.
Uncle Pennybags or whatever his name is?
I don't think you can see him.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's Alex Rogan from Last Starfighter
Yes.
sitting there.
Yes. Okay.
So
And Joe Rogan next to him.
no.
Wait, is that a Last Starfighter?
It's the autograph picture I got from
Okay, that's what I'm seeing.
yes.
Oh, okay, that's
what
not
you're
part of the box.
I
It's
thought it
not
was part of the box.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't understand what
seeing.
we're
The
talking
Last
about.
Starfighter Monopoly? What?
People who aren't watching this on YouTube are just going to be getting a
Yeah.
whole lot out of this conversation.
Yeah.
They're very confused. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that
Yeah.
makes more sense now.
That does make more sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
So
was the actor's name?
Lance Guest.
Lance Guest. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Where'd you get the autograph Lance Guest picture from? Some con or
I got
something?
that a couple years ago from the Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, nice.
He had a booth there signing pictures.
He was a guest.
He was a guest.
Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, signing pictures. So I got one because Last Starfighter is one of my favorite movies.
I mean, it's Last Starfighter. Come on.
It's a great movie.
Who's
Yeah,
going to pass that up?
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What kid of the 80s is going to pass up a chance to meet
That's what I'm
Last
saying.
Starfighter himself?
And it is one of the few items that was
Mhm.
not in my storage unit. It was in the apartment. So
One of the few items?
well,
I mean, I would
do you want to
imagine.
get into this? Do you want to?
Well,
you brought it up.
Yeah, you're the one who brought it up. I mean, we mentioned it
Yeah.
last week.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that. So yeah, in case you don't know, my storage unit got broken into, and all of my video games stuff,
Yes.
all of it, like systems, any games, memorabilia, all taken.
Ugh.
There were a couple items that they didn't take
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Usually those were in boxes that had like clothes on the top.
Oh,
So they didn't dig any further than that.
Yeah.
But anything that clearly had games in it, they took.
Ugh. And this, and for the record, this may have happened months
Up to 2 years ago.
Up to a year and a half
This
ago.
is not
Well,
necessarily something that happened
Yeah.
like a week ago.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Which makes it a lot more difficult
Right.
in a number of ways. But okay, I'll go through it. So yeah, we had a storage unit not far from our apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were preparing to move,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to go over to the storage unit and tape up the few boxes that I had opened just to like get everything sealed and ready to go for the movers to come and take it.
Mm-hmm.
And the storage unit is a 10 by 15 and so fairly large. And I would say probably 2/3 to 3/4 like with boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly full. So go over to the unit and I try my key on the lock.
Yeah.
It is a cylindrical lock. Now they have those for extra security.
Right.
Try
Clearly.
my key. Try my key. Yeah. My key does not work in the lock.
Okay.
I'm like, that's weird. My key is not working in the lock. That's strange. But it had been a while since I've been there and my keys had been in my pocket. Keys change, right?
Evolve.
Exactly. So I started walking towards the office of the storage unit and I realized I didn't have my ID with me. I was like,
Neither did the last people who got into that locker. That didn't seem to be a problem.
I know. So I was like, well, I better go home and see if I can like grab that and see if there are any other keys that I can grab and try. So went home, got my ID, got the other keys, went back to the storage unit. The other two keys I had for the lock didn't work, obviously. So I went to the office and explained like I have a unit in this facility and my keys aren't working. So walked down there with the employee who was there.
They're like, Mr. Johnston, you were just here last week.
Yeah.
With
He
the
tried
same giant
keys.
story.
And they didn't work. And so I went back to the office, signed a form that they could drill the lock.
Okay.
They said, well, this will take a minute. The guy kept saying, this will take a minute. It'll take a minute to do this. It'll take a minute to do this. So I'm like, oh, when it'll take a minute to do it. Okay, great. Turns out it's going to take 40 minutes to do it.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
That's a good lock.
yeah. So I went home. He called me when he was done. It was about 40 minutes. So I went back and, well, he called me while I was at home and is like, I noticed that you don't have that much stuff in there. Like, if you want to, I can like move you into a smaller unit for
God.
less money.
And you're like,
And I was
"Wah,
like,
wah, wah."
no, it's not needed.
Yeah.
So anyway, went back to the storage unit, opened up the door,
Mm.
and let's say 20 to 30 boxes
Oof.
that were there
Yeah.
are gone.
Oof.
And the boxes that are there are opened, all of them opened and clearly rummaged through.
Right.
A gross feeling.
Yeah, I honestly was in shock
I know how that goes.
at this point. Because it was very
Ugh.
clear it was not a few things. It was
Right.
my entire
Oof.
video game collection and video game like
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So they gave me a free new lock for the
Dang.
units.
Really?
This
Man.
one's on the house.
Wow,
This
man.
one's on
That's
the house.
awesome.
We don't normally do this.
Yeah,
Bring
But,
your
you
own
know,
key, though. So
You seem like a good guy.
bring your own key. No, so I was like, okay, sure. Give me
yeah.
new lock. We're moving in 2 days, whatever. So and then filed an incident report.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was, so I took some pictures of this too, just the amount of stuff that was left. And
Right.
then they had come in through the top. So the top of the storage unit has like a sort of like fence, sort of like a mesh
Okay.
thing on the top.
Yeah.
It had been peeled back towards
Okay.
the ceiling. So somebody came in through the ceiling to at least investigate what was in there.
Yeah.
And so
Because it seems like if it was someone in a neighboring unit,
Mhm.
somehow, I mean, they couldn't have moved the stuff through the ceiling, right?
No.
Because that's way too much. You're not.
They
they
could have,
couldn't
but it
30
wouldn't be reasonable.
No,
They couldn't have.
No,
No,
you're
they
not getting
couldn't have.
30 boxes
No,
up and over like that.
no. So anyway, went back to the office, filled out an incident report.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was apologetic,
Good.
but it's like, okay,
Yeah.
be apologetic. But and he said, not the entire time that he's worked there, which was only a year, by the way, nothing like this had happened.
Oh.
But he did hear that some people on the 3rd floor or maybe 4th floor, they got their units broken into a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, so checked when the last time I'd been to the unit was, and it was May of 2020.
Okay.
So basically it could have happened any time between May of 2020 and now.
Right.
Jesus.
So I filled out the incident report, also filed a police report.
Yeah.
They weren't hopeful.
No, the cops will do nothing.
Oh, I know.
Please
Yeah.
make no mistake about that.
I'm sure. I'm not not holding my breath for that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and now the next step is since I have the police report case number, I gotta deal with insurance and all that stuff.
As someone whose storage unit was broken into as well,
Mm-hmm.
it sucks. The dealing with the insurance really sucks.
Yeah, and I mean, like you guys were saying last week, it is not the monetary value of things that
Right.
are gone. Like that, I could honestly care less about.
Right.
But it is the pieces that have sentimental value to me that were in there that are now gone. And luckily, I have a therapist who has a very good listening. She's very good at listening.
Good.
And it was good to talk about that stuff, and lots of emotions
Well, yeah.
over the last week, not only because of that, but because we're moving to a new city
Right.
and all this stuff. So, but it was very much like a big loss. It
Right.
Oh, yeah.
was
It's like
At an
immense
emotional level.
it's like
on an
it's
emotional level.
yeah.
And it,
I mean, I don't want to say it's like losing a loved one, but
Yeah.
it gives you like it
Yeah.
gives you that kind of stomach churn.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean, there's like because that minimizes losing a loved one. But I
Well,
totally agree.
that's
I
yeah,
totally
that's my
agree with what
point.
you're saying. It's
Yeah.
like I was saying last week. Like there are just certain games that I can pick up and play, and it just transports me. It's like listening to music,
totally.
right?
Yeah.
It just transport you to a moment in time, and if it was a particularly happy moment,
Yeah.
then there's that's worth more than whatever the monetary value was, obviously.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, there was stuff that was signed by various
sure.
developers
Yeah.
and, that I'd interviewed for EGM and such. So, yeah, very, very difficult.
Right.
And like you said, the Space Channel 5 that we had gotten when we went to Iowa was the state.
Iowa's okay. Des Moines. That's right. We were going to Des Moines.
Your fond memories of Des Moines.
Oh no!
No,
Right.
but the trip was the fun memory, right? Because
trip
CJ
was
and I
the
did like a road
fun.
trip to that thing, and it was a cool
Right.
event.
Yeah, I know.
It was fun.
It's
Absolutely right.
And it was such a
Lightning.
stupid thing for us to stop halfway there to buy something that would be available in stores in Chicago when we got back.
Yeah.
So it was a
We didn't
very
need to actually go.
Yes, you
it was
did.
a very early
was space-
20-something Greg and CJ moment.
It was
So,
Space
Yeah.
Channel 5. It was worth it.
It was
Yeah.
worth it, honestly. It was
Yeah.
great. And I remember
Absolutely.
I remember that so clearly. But anyway,
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't remember
thing.
buying too many games, but
Nope.
going to that UFC event and buying
Yeah.
Space Channel 5 is one of those that's up there.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you where I got 99% of my games, like the place I bought them or when I bought them. But
Right.
yeah, that one. And the only reason I was thinking about it was because I tried to stream it recently, and unfortunately my copy doesn't work anymore.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then that was the thing. That all it really did was stir up the memories of being on our way to Des Moines to a UFC event and seeing a Best Buy and saying, "Well, Space Channel 5 should be out because it came out today. Let's stop." They're
No,
open.
hilarious.
I mean, if I remember correctly, I think even the MapQuest printout, I printed out like
No, that wouldn't
directions to
surprise
a
me.
particular Best Buy. I don't remember exactly.
Oh,
CJ's Geo Prism.
Yeah, really.
That's right. But yeah, anyway,
times.
so yeah, this is the first time something like this has happened to me, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and not be able to fall back to sleep.
Oh,
thinking
man, I'm
about
sorry.
How much
Yeah.
it hurt. So yeah, it was bad. It's
Yeah.
bad.
It sucks.
The good thing to come out of this is that the few things that I did have at the apartment,
Mm-hmm.
I am more than ever glad to have them.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, as I'm unpacking things and finding things that weren't taken, I am overjoyed that
Right.
those things
Yeah,
weren't
exactly.
taken, or that those things were at the apartment. Like my EGM jacket, I have.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that too. It
Those-
doesn't fit, but I would never. It's been in my
Right.
closet for years.
I know. Yeah. And yeah. My Rock Band guitar,
Mm-hmm.
the one that wasn't in storage,
Ah, yeah.
I still have. The Beatles stuff is gone,
Ugh.
but I have one left.
Yeah. The when my unit got broken into, and you guys remember they got a bunch of my G1 Transformers
Yeah.
from back in the day. Like again, which those were mine from when I was a kid, so they were like
Yeah.
gifts from my dead grandma and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And when I was going through it, because they had trashed, they didn't take as much stuff as they took from you, obviously.
Mhm.
But the unit was just junk everywhere because they just tore into it, just trying to find whatever.
Yeah.
And then I happened to find my Optimus Prime, which still in the box and everything. They must have dropped it when they were digging through stuff, and we're in too much of a rush to pick it back up again because it had fallen behind a big pile of junk. And when I was straightening up the place, you find it's like, oh crap, it's my Optimus Prime. They left it behind. So it's that like you were saying, that kind of moment of elation when you
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's like, oh man, but it's.
I mean, I found these. So this is Mario Golf balls from the NBA
Cool.
version of Mario Golf. These were in my video game stuff, and I guess when the Packers packed us up in Atlanta, they put it in a random box that had clothes in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Nice.
I have my Mario Golf balls. I don't have my Star Fox Assault salt shakers.
Oh
damn
no!
it.
Oh God, I still have with Peppy.
Yeah, that's
Peppy,
the Star Fox
yeah.
Assault and Peppy.
Those are still sitting over in my kitchen right there.
Mine are at my desk at work.
Yeah.
Where I actually they're still being used to this day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, the Monitor trophy.
The Monitor statue is also gone. Yes.
Oh no!
Oh,
I believe I haven't found it anyway. I mean, the good thing is that they didn't take my magazines.
okay.
Yeah.
Or at least didn't take all of them. I have boxes of magazines.
Right.
So I'm slightly happy about that because, having worked at EGM from the mid 90s to the early 2000s, like having that collection of issues and
Time capsule.
it's a time capsule. Yeah, it's the work that I was doing at that time. So I'm happy that stuff survived.
Yeah.
And the new types as well. So, but it was a major bummer.
Man.
Major bummer. But it did make me a little more glad that in the last 12 years I've been buying games digitally. Because had I not been doing that, I would have lost a very good portion of my more modern game collection as well, because those would definitely have been in storage. So
right.
And I had my 3DSs, even the ones that, I had a number of 3DSs that I had at the apartment. So those didn't get taken. So that's good too.
Oh,
but,
good.
But yeah.
Ugh.
The last week kind of sucked.
I would imagine it did.
It was great because we're moving into a new place, but also bad because I did not have my stuff. But of course, finding things like there's a Yoshitaka Amano signed and framed poster right here
that's
in the YouTube stream.
There.
Yeah,
nice.
that I got in 1999. They didn't take that. So also very happy about that.
They don't know art when they see it, apparently.
They don't know art. I don't think they even opened the box for it. But, and I have like a Captain N animation cell that they didn't take. And I have the Ranma 1/2 art cell that Ronnie Yu got me many years ago.
The Dr. Tofu cell?
I still have that, thank God.
Good.
But yeah, a lot of things gone, which sucks, but I'm more happy than ever that Nintendo Switch Online has all the N64 and NES and Super Nintendo and Genesis games, because my Super Nintendo Mini, my NES Mini are, of course, gone. They were in storage. And
were they?
Not only that, but, my entire library that I had at home.
Right.
Gone for those systems. So, yeah. Go digital is what I'm saying. I'm all in on digital. Can't take those digital games from me. But anyway.
Oh man.
Anyway, that was
this has been a positive start to the
No.
Yeah, let's switch. Let's talk about some
we should also mention Johnny Thiever's dead while we're at it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who's that? Wait, what?
What?
My goodness.
Dr.
Johnny Fever?
Oh.
Howard
Did this
Hessman.
happen today?
Howard Hessman.
Howard Hessman. Okay.
I mean, he was 81 years old.
Yeah.
You may know him as the teacher from Head of the Class.
Head of the Class.
There you go.
That's right.
I
will admit that I kind of think of that too. But
he was the inspector or the FBI agent that comes in Clue, right?
What?
No?
Was
he
he
in Clue?
I don't remember.
Very briefly.
I mean, there were actors in that other than.
Let's see.
The main, I can't even think of the main actor's name.
Oh yeah, he was the chief. That's right.
in Clue
Yes.
very briefly.
Was it the
That
Chief?
is-
Okay.
That is, yeah, that's right.
WKRP was just such a great show.
Well, yeah.
I don't think I ever watched any.
Oh my god, I love
Really?
WKRP. And it's one of those ones that they haven't been able to re-release properly because of all the
Yeah.
musical rights, which
Yeah.
is too bad. But it was also one of the things that made it great.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
not the same with sound alikes.
Dr. Johnny Fever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do some video game news.
Oh, okay.
If you're cool with that, wanna?
I mean, it's been 45 minutes, so
Okay.
Is it really?
Okay.
not really. We
27
started late.
minutes.
It's been half an hour of actual show.
All right, so Valve has announced that the Steam Deck launches February 25th, which launches means you can buy them starting.
Yes.
February
Oh, you don't need to be one of the
So-
people who pre-ordered it. You can actually just
No,
buy
you
one.
do. So if you pre-ordered it, you put your $5 down, said, I want one of these.
Right.
On February 25th, that's when you put up or shut up, basically, and you have 72 hours to do so before they hand your reservation to somebody else.
What an interesting way to sell things.
Yeah.
I'm
Buy
okay
this,
with
but
it.
buy it right now.
You have 72 hours to spend.
It's not the bots you have to worry about. It's us.
I'm hoping, of course, that people drop out so I can get mine sooner than the
I would like to have
after Q2 timetable that I currently have. But we'll see.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to get yours so I can hear
I canceled mine.
what you think of it. Oh, I can't wait for CJ to get his.
I think
Did you really?
I think I mentioned. Yeah, I had to have mentioned a while ago that I canceled it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
Because I had pre-ordered the big one, which is what, like 700.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm not going to use this thing enough to justify
But think of all the
$700.
Rogue Legacy you could be playing on it.
I could be playing Rogue Legacy on the Switch, man.
I know.
I really need Rogue Legacy on the go. I am. Tell you what, I am not wanting for copies of Rogue Legacy. So
I see.
yeah,
Yes.
but
Well, anyway,
yeah,
mine is still pre-ordered. I put the $5 down, and we'll see when
good.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. There have been a couple of Japanese trailers out there. There's finally a Natsume US trailer out there that is basically like a compilation of the Japanese character trailers that had been revealed over the past couple of weeks. It's kind of a digest of those, plus the new characters that they're adding.
Yep.
So I'm very excited about that. Pocky and Rocky, a really fun video game. And in fact, the Arcade Archives, Kiki Kai Kai of the original arcade Pocky and Rocky came out not too long ago. And I purchased that because it is so much fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I do like Pocky and Rocky. What do you think about Becky, though? Everyone
Pocky
likes
and Rocky
Pocky
and
and
Becky? I don't know.
With Becky. That was
Is that
the
the sequel?
That was the GBA version.
Oh, the GBA version.
It was
Okay.
Pocky and Rocky with Becky.
I don't think I ever played that one.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
What a weird way to title that.
Yeah.
I never really played Pocky and Rocky, but I just remember it being really adored when it came out.
Yeah, it's a
It's
cute game.
a fun little take on the shooter.
Yeah.
So
Got
Like a
it. I think I got Game of the
commando
Month in
style.
EGM.
Yeah.
yeah, it did well in UGM for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah. All right. So we got news that Electronic Arts is working on 3 new Star Wars titles.
There we go.
Only 2 of which will
Sequel.
probably be canceled before they come out.
A sequel to Jedi Fallen Order,
Yeah.
a first-person shooter from Respawn, and a strategy game developed primarily by Bit Reactor, and that's a team made up of people who were formerly at Firaxis doing XCOM. So
Okay.
That should be
chances of
good.
it being
Yeah.
pretty good are high.
Good.
Yeah,
Have you been watching Book of Boba Fett?
I have not started it yet.
I have.
I started it today. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're not great.
Yeah. It's
I've heard
they're
it
not
starts
bad.
off kinda,
Yeah, it starts off
yeah.
pretty like meh.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the first episode has a bunch to do with how they retcon the fact that he's not dead.
right.
You know.
Oh,
So
huh.
The most recent episode is
I heard it's good.
It's by far the best.
And he's not in it.
Because it is essentially just another Mandalorian episode. I mean, I say essentially, but that's inaccurate. It's a Mandalorian episode.
Right.
They
Cool.
just said, we're gonna throw in a Mandalorian episode. But it was quite good. So they should probably just do it on Mandalorian.
Yeah. I don't feel like this needed to exist, but anyway.
Yeah.
You guys, I didn't watch it yet, but you guys see that there's another teaser for that Halo TV show?
I did watch the trailer, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a teaser, it's a full-on trailer.
Oh, okay.
It's like 2.5 minutes.
Okay. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. It I mean, I don't know anything about Halo, but
Yeah, the thing about Halo is I've never cared about its story. Ever.
You got Master Chief in there. He looks like Master Chief.
Okay.
He doesn't sound exactly like Master Chief, which seems weird.
Well, that guy, the voice actor is kind of old. He probably couldn't
talk.
Couldn't talk.
I mean, he seemed.
I don't know, CJ. I don't think.
I mean,
that's
they just came out with a game recently.
I mean, he was still the actor.
He's talking in that.
Couldn't talk.
Sometime in the past, like 2 months, his teeth fell out or something.
Well, they should do like a. Are you saying they should do like a David Prowse / James Earl Jones?
Yes.
Thing with it.
Absolutely.
Just replace the voice. Yeah.
Yeah. And for some reason, Cortana's not blue anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the trailer, there's like one shot of Cortana. And it's like a, and I'm Cortana, she's got her, it's like an actual, like, just character introduction.
But I get to say the title of the TV show, Halo.
She's just, she just looks like, normal flesh tones.
Oh,
yeah. It's really weird. It's really weird. So
interesting.
I don't know. Maybe that's her character arc in the show. Well, she
turns blue.
Turns a real girl.
All the color.
Cortana gets her blue back. Yeah. The big
episode title.
That's the big season 2 reveal.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's end this news section with a bit of a downer here. After 50 years, Sega is bowing out of the arcade center business.
That hurts.
I thought they already did. Yeah. They only had that one left or something like that, didn't they? Like, hadn't they sold off all of their game centers already, or somebody else was running them, or I don't know. I didn't pay super close attention because it doesn't affect me in any way. But I mean, I guess it's sad.
Well, they're selling the remaining shares that they had within their arcade
That's what it is.
To another company. So they had already done a majority purchase back in 2020, and now this is the rest. So
are Club Segas going away then?
They're not owned by Sega anymore.
But I mean,
I don't know if they're
remove the Club Sega branding.
Somebody who's paying closer attention to this story would probably be able to answer that for you.
Yeah,
and that's not any
which
of
is
us.
No one on the show. So
CJ brought it up. I figured maybe he.
Jeff Grubb's in the chat. He might say something in a minute.
It's the end of an era, though, right? Sega.
This is what we were saying.
The remaining shares in that business are gone.
When CJ was gone, we should have had Jeff Grubb on.
Yeah, I know.
No,
he wouldn't let us.
You have to wait.
Jay wouldn't let us.
Exactly.
I mean, it is like technically sure. I don't know. I felt like this story was a little overblown, personally.
Especially because there's only the remaining 16.
Yeah, it's the end of a long road to a long known conclusion, I guess.
14.9% of shares that they continue to hold. So
whatever.
I'm glad I was able to go and play some games at a Club Sega.
I regret that I never did, and now I probably never will. I don't know that I ever was going to anyway, but
here's the
could have.
Early 2000s Japan or late 90s, going to Tokyo and playing in Japanese arcades was awesome because it was just like music games everywhere and like smoky rooms where people were in those Astro City sit down machines and all that, and it was great. I went to Tokyo in 2017 or 18. and it was all gotcha machines. It was all UFO catchers on the first level of those. Like the machine,
Yeah.
the other, the music games and such were
Right.
gone, and the amount of sit down Astro Cities that were,
Yeah.
usually in the basement in some of those places were not as prevalent. So
When I
it was
when I
already
went
kind of dead.
when I went in, was it 2019 when I went over?
Hmm.
Um yeah, it was definitely like the old kind of like Astro City, like the fighting games and stuff that they have. Definitely a lot fewer of those, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was mostly a lot of like weird kind of like mobile game tie-in type stuff.
a lot of that too. Yeah.
A lot of like kind of gotcha Final Fantasy games or something like that, where they had arcade versions of mobile game type
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
So
like
the arcade business in general had already changed past what we remember, or what I
Right.
remember as being like Club Sega, or like the heyday of the Japanese arcade.
Yeah.
It's funny though, you mentioned the smoke-filled rooms, and I was having that conversation with my kid, one of my kids, the other day. I mean, I've never been a smoker, but I think it was because we were going by Tim Hortons or something like that. And
Yeah.
when I was a kid, it was back when we could smoke. When people would smoke in restaurants or in
Right.
in eateries and things like that.
Mhm.
And I had mentioned that, like, because there was this short period of time where when I was a kid, when you got donuts, this is going to sound so gross, when you got donuts from Tim Hortons, you could taste the smoke in the donuts.
Oh,
Oh,
I know,
God.
and that's gross. Don't get me
Canada.
wrong. But then I was sort of mentioning to one of my kids how, like, when they first started the whole, like, maybe we shouldn't let people smoke freely in these places, but they created like smoking areas where they glassed them in, so they're
Oh,
like
right.
fish
Right.
bowls, and it was just like this glass walled room that was just filled with smoke. And I was just telling them that was,
Yeah.
and they were finding that really funny. But it did kind of hit me that again, I'm not a smoker and I don't want to be around cigarette smoke, but also that smell
Mhm.
actually, if I do smell it, it actually conjures up a lot of good
Mhm.
memories. You know what I
Donuts?
mean? Not because of the donuts, but I mean like things like old arcades
Yeah.
and like and going to like my grandfather's place when I was a kid, because of course he was
Yeah.
a smoker and the whole place smelled like cigarette smoke. And
Right.
yeah, it's but it's weird, right? Like that's what, when you mentioned a smoke filled room in an arcade, that's, I was like,
Yeah.
yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Man.
Never been to Japan, but I know exactly what you mean.
There
Back with the cigarette holders on
Yeah.
bolted to the side of the arcade machines.
Yeah.
Again, when I was over there a couple years ago, I walked past a pachinko parlor,
Oh,
Imagine.
and I walked close enough to, because I was just walking down the street, and I'm walking past this building. I walked close enough to trigger the sliding door on the building, and
just a
I walk
cloud of
by,
smoke.
and the door opens, and I instantly gagged
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to
yeah.
like walk about 50 feet away from the building, just because the wall of, I mean, it was like extruding
fog machine?
smoke. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a Play-Doh fun factory, but just cigarette smoke oozing out the door.
Yeah. I
It
remember a
was
few years ago, I
yeah.
went over to Paris for Paris Game Week,
Yeah.
and there was I mean, we were in France anyway, but like there was a lot of Japanese developers there, and when you left the building, you just walked through a cloud of smoke as
Oh,
you went out,
wow.
because
Yeah.
they all had to go outside to smoke. They were literally 2 feet out the door,
Yeah.
and a lot of them were chain smokers. And
Yeah.
boy, it was thick.
Hey, remember traveling? Wasn't that nice?
No, what was that like?
International travel.
You could just like go places?
I know, right? Crazy.
Okay. Seems like a bad idea, but what do I know?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think it's time for what you've been playing. Greg,
Mhm.
what do you got for us?
Mhm.
Oh, boy.
I'm getting close to the end of Yakuza, so I'll talk about that
Oh.
some other week. But let me go check and see. Oh, so I played for the first time. I played the demo of it, and I own the game. And I think I realized during my stream that it's because somebody actually bought it and gifted it to me. But I played Mega Man 11 for the first time. this past Thursday, which is the only mainline Mega Man game that I haven't beaten, let alone really played. And I remember playing the demo, and it's not good. I don't know, Phil. Did you play Mega Man 11?
A bit.
Did you like it?
I played a bit
Yeah,
of a Mega Man game.
That says it
Of a
all.
numbered Mega Man
I should have.
sequel.
I should have
Yeah.
just taken started right from there. Yeah, no, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Easily the worst one, I'd say.
Hmm.
I'm not even a big fan of a couple of the Mega Man games, but yeah, I don't really have much to say about it except it's just not very good. You know, like
Yeah.
I did like a couple of different things in there. Like I really liked how the special weapons were mapped to the right analog stick. It was a nice touch.
Yeah.
You know, so you just sort of can access the special weapon wheel at any time. Speeds up the game. Same thing with Rush. Like Rush is mapped to Rush Coil and Rush Jet are both mapped to their own buttons and things like that. Like it's designed really nicely.
Yeah.
But boy, does it just not have that Mega Man feel.
I didn't like that. Was it like that gear mechanic or whatever they had?
That's the thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so yeah, the whole, and actually it's the hinge for like the whole story. Is that this
Yeah.
mechanic is so dangerous that it'll destroy robot lives, and it's basically like you have a small power meter that you can turn on at any time, and it either slows everything down or what's the other thing that it does? Oh, it powers up your shot.
Yes.
And yeah, it doesn't add anything to the game.
No, it was just
yeah,
a new mechanic for the sake of a new mechanic, and
yeah,
like let's not worry if it's fun or not.
It's like the modern day equivalent of when you started having to hold down the damn buster button all the time to keep the thing charged, which I think is funny because one of the first things that I bought, because you can upgrade Mega Man as you gather bolts.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I bought was actually the auto charger for the Mega Buster, which is nice. I don't need to hold down the fire button the whole time anymore. And it's like, well, you were smart enough to realize how annoying that is. But you know, you hinged the entire game on this slowdown / power up mechanic that's very limited.
Yeah.
And boy, it just doesn't add anything to the game.
No.
So very disappointing. I got about halfway through it in like the hour and a half. Well, I should say halfway through the bosses.
Okay.
So of course there'll be some, final level there, but or levels there. But yeah, boy, it does not hold a candle to anything that came before it. I'd say like probably Mega Man 7 was my least favorite Mega Man game up until this point. And that game wasn't even bad. It just wasn't amazing,
Right.
But yeah, Mega Man 11, not good. Another game that I've been playing this week, and I actually picked it up and played some more of it. I've been playing through with one of our listeners, hacker alias Scoop Jessica, is It Takes Two. Video Game Awards Game of the Year for 2021. And we're about, I'd say, 2/3 of the way through the game at this point. And I think I mentioned this last time. From a gameplay perspective, it's a co-op game, obviously. It is spectacularly made. The gameplay is great. The whole mechanic is that it's always split screen. You can always see the other player's screen. There's a lot of co-op needed, but you don't have the same abilities, and the abilities change every level. So like, in the last level that we were playing, my character was actually like a wizard. It started as almost like an overhead gauntlet style gameplay area. So like my character was a wizard, so he could like teleport through certain walls, and he could fire ice at things and freeze geysers of lava to create platforms and stuff like that. And then her character had this giant flaming sword, so like sort of she was the muscle, and and could burn stuff and all that. And it was really cool. And that's like every level's like that, and you only have those powers for that level. And then they disappear, and then you're given new powers for the next level. So it keeps it very fresh. And there's, some like side-scrolling platforming thrown in there, and there's like some 3D. There was a really cool scene where we were escaping something, as something was blowing up, and we were escaping it, kind of like the Millennium Falcon flying through escaping the Death Star. But I was flying this like biplane like thing, because you're very tiny, so they're all toys and they're all huge. Flying this biplane like thing, and then Jessica's character was on the wing, basically playing a one-on-one fighting game. And I mean, it was set up like that. Like there were life bars on the screen and everything like that. So she was like in this one-on-one fighter on the wings of the plane while I was flying it. And I love it when we play that. But one of the things that I mentioned the last time I talked about this, and CJ, I know you've played this game. I don't know if you played through it or not.
No, I didn't finish it.
Okay. So it tackles could be a very touchy subject. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not playing it with my kids, is it tackles divorce. The two main characters are getting divorced. And the whole reason they're in these little dolls is because their daughter created these dolls of them. And in an early scene in the game, she starts crying. She wishes that they would get along, and her tears hit the dolls, and then they get their body or their souls or whatever, their minds get teleported into these dolls. And now the whole idea is that they're trying to escape. They're trying to get back to their bodies, trying to figure out how this happened and how they can fix it. And it's got this really heavy-handed element of, you have to work as a team, which is fine because the gameplay supports that. But it's like, but it's also, it's part and parcel of a greater call for them to repair their relationship and fall in love with each other again, which is really ham-fisted, I find, especially the way it's shown in the game. And the two big problems that I have with it is, one, we're, I don't know, 8 hours now or 7 hours or something like we're deep into the game at this point. And the game is still sort of hitting the main characters over the head with, you're going to have to work as a team if you want to fix this. And it's like, well, yeah, but we've been working as a team for 7 hours. Like, it's not like it's not like the gameplay is evolving and we're not hitting those eureka moments where it's like, oh man, yeah, we really should work as a team. It's like, you literally can't get out of the first level if you don't work as a team. That's the whole point of the game. So that's kind of ridiculous. And the other thing is that the two main characters are like Jessica and I were both talking about this, and I'm getting the feeling that that's not how the game's going to end. But we want them to get divorced. Like, they clearly are not meant to be together because they can't go 5 minutes without bickering over absolutely everything. To the point that, and it's over the stupidest little things. And I don't want to minimize that some people's divorces go that way. And we actually had a very interesting conversation while we were playing, where the two main characters, one of the most realistic arguments they actually had was about how much the wife works so much, so she's never at home, because the dad is like a stay-at-home dad, and there's a lot of resentment there. And like Jessica was saying, like, well, why wouldn't you, I can't believe that it would have taken somebody into it to a situation like this before they would actually bring something like that up. And I was like, well, actually, that feels like the most believable part of the writing to me so far. It's like, but everyone's relationship is different, obviously. But everything else, like there's one stage where you're in a castle and you're on this like trolley, one of those trolleys where you like, it's double handled and you're pumping at one certain,
a hand car.
A hand car. Thank you. Yeah. And at one point in this big fantastical castle that, the dad built with his daughter, although that's clearly, it's more elaborate than that. The track ends. So then they fight over the fact that he didn't finish building the track. Like, it's stupid stuff like that. And it's every time there's a story scene, we're both just like, oh my God, I want this to be over so badly. And I hope they get divorced at the end. But the way the story's going, clearly the whole idea is, oh, they're going to remember they're in love. And like, yeah. So there's all that. So the other big thing that I wanted to bring up, and I know I'm kind of going on and on about this, but like, I really feel like the writing is ruining a really good game. So spoiler alert, I guess, at one point they decide that they figure out that their daughter's tears are what created whatever magic this is that's put them in these bodies. So they've decided that they need to make her cry again.
No.
Let's see what happens when we take away the puppy.
It's absolutely that, but not funny. That's a
Killer
great
hamster.
line, by the way. That's a great line. So anyway, at one point they get into her room, right? She's sitting
Yeah.
on the bed, and like she's gigantic because they're these little dolls.
Okay.
And she's got a best friend, or not a best friend, but her favorite toy, which I guess is her best friend. It's this little plush elephant that's like got like a speaker box on it and everything. I forget what she's called, but she's like the queen of this castle that they're in. So they decide the way to make her cry is they're going to break this toy. They're going to make their way to this toy that's like up at the top shelf somewhere, and then when they get to it,
Yeah.
they're going to break it so that
Okay.
she'll cry.
Okay.
It's a terrible plan. So you go through this whole level and you get to this, you fight the boss because this elephant's not the boss. She's got nothing against you.
Mhm.
And then you get into this scene where they're talking to the elephant. And the elephant's super friendly. She's like, we're best friends, and so is my best friend, and I'm so happy to meet you. And are you, like she's just super, super friendly. And the parents tell her, oh, well, we have to kill you. And
Sorry
it
for the
leads,
inconvenience.
and I'm not kidding, and I'm talking about toys here,
Yeah.
but it leads to this long, drawn out, interactive torture scene
Mm.
where you're
Okay.
dragging this elephant to the edge of a cliff
Oh no.
to throw her over, and
Yeah.
she's begging for her life the whole time.
Oh wow.
And like
Mm.
you rip her leg off, and like an ear gets pinned on something, so you pull her until her ear
Yeah.
tears off. And it's just like, and we're both playing. It's like, this is
Uh,
really uncomfortable.
You know,
like I'm
right.
not okay with any of this.
Thank God Ken Levine put the Little Sisters in
Oh,
Bioshock
boy.
all those years ago to
God.
inspire a new generation of game developers to also
It's so
make you do things.
Right.
tone deaf. And this one, like, game of the year, and like Andrew Webb in the chat's like family game of the year. It is
Family
not.
Game
It is like, I don't know if people didn't play this far,
They only
what?
played the first 2 hours. That's it.
but it's
Yeah.
just like,
Delightful.
we finished that stage and we were both like, up until that point, we hated it when anything story driven happened anyway, because
Right.
again, the characters are so unlikable and the situation is so ridiculous. And but then this happened and we were just like, holy shit.
Jeez.
Like, I already wasn't on board with the whole let's make her cry thing, but then we tortured this poor
Huh.
elephant, and of course it didn't work. Right? She
Right.
cried and it didn't work because of course it didn't, because the game needs to be longer. But
Yeah. Yeah.
just like, man, I don't know. Like, we were playing that and and then of course that's the point where it's like, okay, that should have been the end of the story. But
I mean,
oh, by the
even-
way, we're going to give you 4 pieces of something you have to go and get so that the
Yeah.
game is 4 more levels long.
Even in terms of the in-game logic, where
It's terrible logic.
I mean, the kid is sad about the divorce, right?
Right.
So she cries,
Right.
which affects the dolls and her parents.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it theoretically it wouldn't be about just the physical presence of tears, but what the tears represent, right?
Right.
So if you break this elephant doll,
Yeah.
and she cries, wouldn't that
It's a stupid idea. The
create a
second they
giant
say it,
rampaging elephant or something like that?
the second they say it at the beginning of the game, you as
Yeah.
a player just like, that's the most moronic thing I've ever heard.
Right.
Like, it
Okay.
doesn't make any sense. And again, you're tackling some very, very touchy subject matter.
Right.
And I absolutely don't want to, everyone's relationship is different. Everyone's marriage is different. Everyone's divorce is different. Everyone gets divorced for different reasons. It's not sort of a one size fits all situation, but
No.
they've tackled this really sensitive subject matter with like all the nuance of a sledgehammer. And it's just so infuriating every time they open their mouths.
Jeez.
And yeah, like I said, and then this scene was very much reminded me of the No Russians scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's just like, if you remember, like that scene in Modern Warfare, in a game where the whole point was to shoot and kill people, felt like, I'm not comfortable with this.
Right.
That this is like this game's No Russians scene.
Oh dear.
It's awful.
Ugh.
It's turned me completely off of the game. I mean,
Yeah.
we're this. I hate that I'd say this now that I've said that. We're this deep in and we want to finish it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's like I don't know if
Ugh.
there's any chance at redemption at this point.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
I've been since we played it yesterday and that whole thing happened, and I've just been waiting for the show to bring it up because it's just like I didn't know, CJ. Like I said, I knew you'd played it, but I didn't know how far you got. I
No, not
don't
that
know
far.
if Charlotte wants to keep playing it. I would kind of say maybe don't.
Mm.
No, and I think we stopped at the point where the mechanics were getting a little too tough, a little
Yeah.
too challenging for her to keep up. So
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
it's
Okay.
too bad because you strip this out, and gameplay wise, it is a brilliant game.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
so good.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeesh.
that's what I've been playing.
Okay.
Very good.
Phil,
Yes.
what do you got for us?
Well, I mean, this week a lot of it was spent playing the game for work, but I won't talk about that. But
Digimon, the new Digimon.
that's the one. Hey, you know what I did do, Greg? Did you see my Lego Sonic
I did.
upgrade that I did?
Mhm. Oh,
Very cool.
So we all know, presumably, that Lego came out with its Sonic the Hedgehog Green Hill Zone set a couple weeks ago, and I was very excited to get that. It's part of their Lego Ideas subline, which the whole gimmick of the Lego Ideas line is that they are designed by Lego fans,
Mhm.
and people submit their ideas, and if they get enough votes on the Lego Ideas website, then Lego will potentially create a real set of it.
Hmm.
And this was this was a fan set, and Greg and I both picked up our sets and built them, and they're great little sets. But then the woman who did the original fan design, she released unofficial modifications. So if you have the set or another copy, because the set is built as I think we talked about this on the show.
Yeah, it's
built as
modular.
kind of a modular. Yeah, there's kind of a little starting area, and then there's a little loop to loop and a little bridge and stuff like that. So, and you can kind of mix and match them as you see fit. But yeah, the fan designer released sort of a alternate modular components that you can use to expand your set. So because I'm a sucker, I went and bought a second Lego Sonic set and
Wow.
did indeed put together her instructions, and
Which we should link to in the show notes. So definitely
can
send those
definitely
to me
link
on
to.
Slack.
I will send those to you on Slack.
Okay.
But yeah, and I put them together, and it looks great. If you go to my Twitter account, which is at Whimsical Phil, you can see pictures of the now like twice as long Sonic level. It looks fantastic. So
It looks really good.
yeah, I was very pleased at how well that turned out. So and then yeah, other than that, really all I've been playing this week is just kind of messing around with my new Oculus, doing some more VR stuff. I broke down and bought a few more games. I bought like the Star Wars, the Vader Immortal series. I picked that up because I picked it up for PlayStation VR, but I only finished the first one, so I want to go through the whole thing now. And
Okay.
and yeah, I picked up Beat Saber, which it's Beat Saber. Beat Saber is fantastic.
Amazing.
I do love Beat Saber. So I've been playing a bit of that. I picked up the Space Channel 5 VR game. Kind of funky newsflash, which again, also a lot of fun just having that VR. A lot of music games, a lot of moving around type stuff. So
Sounds tiring.
I've been panting a lot.
And did you actually get the prescription lenses in?
They have shipped.
You
They have
ordered
shipped.
them. Okay, they shipped.
They are
Okay.
en route.
Cool.
currently. So I'm very excited to get those. Yeah.
How
Hopefully
do you
those will be
play
here.
now without that? You said your glasses were too big. Is it just uncomfortable or
Everything's a little fuzzy.
okay?
That's how I just I just take off the glass. Yeah, I mean, because the glasses are absolutely not going to fit inside there. So I've just been playing with no glasses. So
Okay.
things are a little fuzzy. Yeah,
Okay.
my vision's not that bad where I can't see anything, but
That's my vision. My
yeah,
vision is
oh,
I
is
take
it?
my glasses off. I
Yeah.
can't see anything.
Yeah, see, I can still see things. It's just a little blurrier than I would like. So I'm looking forward to being
Hmm.
able to actually see the nice graphics. Hopefully sometime this week.
I see.
And then I picked up an exercise, a fitness program for VR
Oh,
because
as
you
if
know,
Beat Saber wasn't enough.
I know, right? I a couple people had recommended a program called Supernatural, which
Mhm.
seems like an odd name for a fitness program, but
Yeah.
I picked it up and it's quite good from what I've seen so far. It's got a few different components, one of which is a kind of Beat Saber knockoff, but more physically demanding just because instead of just swiping and sort of leaning to dodge walls, you have to do kind of more dramatic lunges to stay within triangles that are zooming at you, or squats to go through little low triangles.
Sounds excruciating.
And Beat Saber, when you're slicing at the notes that are flying at you, it's always, it's coming down a track like a Guitar Hero or something. Whereas this one now, the notes will kind of start coming at you from 360, so you have to kind of rotate.
Beat Saber
around.
does that too.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah,
Like
at higher
later on?
difficulty levels.
Okay.
They'll come at you from like 3 or 4 different tracks, but they're
okay.
constantly
Cool.
they'll shift around to different ones too.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I don't, I think it kind of goes in a 360, so you're moving a lot more, which at one point I was playing downstairs and I have my headphones on because I'm, you're hearing the music and everything. And Dana comes downstairs and it's just like, is everything okay down here? And I have to pause and I'm just like, take off the headset. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, oh, Finn was worried. He heard you like breathing really hard. It's like, yeah, yeah, I'm old and out of shape. That's what he heard. Yeah, thank you for your concern, everyone. My family is afraid I'm gonna die playing a video game. So that's going really well. But it seems cool. It seems fun. So
that's cool.
I'm enjoying my virtual reality.
Nice.
But yeah, that's really about all I've been playing.
My son's really pushing for us to get one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. He even offered to because he got a Switch 2 years ago for Christmas and he doesn't touch it.
Oh really?
He doesn't play it. He's much more of a an Xbox gamer.
Okay.
He's realized. So he's even offering to sell his Switch.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you gonna break down maybe and do it?
We'll see. We'll see where the finance sit in a month or so.
Yeah. Well, very cool. I mean, it's neat. I am enjoying it quite a bit. So, might be fun. But yeah, that's it. CJ, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing a couple of things on Steam. There's this game called Vampire Survivors. Have you heard about this game at all? No. Thinking not. It's a $3 game on Steam, so well worth it. It is how the term roguelike is because there's a game called Rogue. That's why everybody calls it that. This I would call, and I've heard people call it, a Robotron-like.
So a twin stick shooter?
It is a game where you are facing ever-present hordes of enemies coming towards you. And you have a little experience bar in the top bit of the screen. And as you kill enemies, that bar fills. And once full, you can upgrade your weapons. It gives you like a selection of 3 different things you can upgrade. So kind of like Some roguelikes do this, where you get to a point you level up and you can pick 3 different powers or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the waves continue, and you fill the experience bar up again, and you get another thing. You can choose another thing, and some of them are projectile weapons, some of them are like mystic books that float around the character, kind of like Gradius
Options.
options. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can get things like an area of the floor will turn on fire. It'll be set ablaze. So if you are running around in a circle trying to crowd control the enemies, like you can run them into that area and they'll enemies will die. But the enemies get more powerful as you continue on, and so it becomes important to like upgrade your attacks and like choose the right path for the upgrades each time you level up. And it's just a really interesting game. It feels very classic. It's pixel art and it doesn't look great. Like, so if you're on the Steam page, Vampire Survivors.
Survivor.
So if you're looking at screenshots, you're like, this doesn't look all that good.
Yeah.
But for $3, it's a pretty entertaining time, I gotta say. And it gives out a lot of Steam achievements for each run as well. So if you're into that kind of thing.
I'm looking at some screenshots.
It doesn't look great, right?
Well, you know what it looks like?
It looks like someone took Castlevania sprites and
it looks like one of those like iOS game ads where they just show like video footage of like a zillion troops swarming a tower, and you put
troops?
like a what's that?
1
How many
million
troops?
1 million troops. And you set up like a defense tower or something.
Yeah,
and you just it looks like one of those type.
That's exactly what it looks like.
And then the actual
doesn't look
game
great.
that it's advertising is nothing like that.
Oh yeah.
But this is like a Robotron style game.
Okay. A twin stick shooter.
Twin stick. Yep. Shooter.
I mean, is it
kind of reminds me of Robotron or maybe a little Geometry Wars, because there is sort of crowd control that you have to do with the different enemies, and they have different amounts of hit points. So not all of them die in one hit.
Does it functions as it is a twin stick shooter, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is.
Okay. We call those Smash TV clones.
Smash TV clones. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's
Nearly the next arcade
on
one-up machine.
Steam, and well worth checking out. I think it's it'll give you $3 worth of entertainment. That's for darn sure. And it's an early access game, so
everything's an early
things
access
are going to
game.
be added to it in the future. But it definitely it pushes the endorphin button like Cookie Clicker does, or it's that style of like Twitch game I want to see. I want to see my XP bar continue going up and up and up unlocking things. So it's that same kind of rush.
Nice.
I also played Rogue Legacy 2.
Ah, there you go.
I've heard of that game.
Loaded that up.
Yeah.
Man, it looks great.
It does.
It's not pixel art anymore, but darn it looks good.
I surprisingly have played precious little of this game.
Yeah.
It's because it's still in early access.
It's in early access, but I was impressed with the changes to the move set. You have a little downward slash that opens up doors, and you can use it to kind of sword boost your way up. Things. So it seemed pretty cool. I didn't get very far into it, but I have played it. I've played Rogue Legacy 2.
Very good.
Yeah. Also played Nobody Saves the World. So this is a Drinkbox Studio game, their new game.
Oh, right on.
It's a sort of dungeon crawler type game. It's an action game, kind of like a Gauntlet style thing. But the mechanic here is that you are sort of this blank slate character, and you unlock different roles for yourself or different like hero types. So you can be a rat or a ranger or a knight or all these different types. One of them is you become a horse, and you can attack, but it's only back kicks. So you have to
Okay.
like turn yourself around to
Okay.
kick the enemies. And yeah, some of your attacks have elemental damage as well. So you have to pay attention to this sort of elemental hierarchy that certain things defeat other, this sort of a rock, paper, scissors style thing going on there. But really fun and really well written. And it looks great. Of course, it's a Drinkbox game, so it's going to look great and play well. And it certainly does. And it's on Game Pass, so everybody should check it out. It's on Steam and Game Pass. It launched on Xbox. So, and then of course I played Pokemon Legends Arceus. Arceus. I don't know what. I'm just going to mispronounce it so that somebody on the podcast has to look at me and shake his head. But anyway, so yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus came out, and of course I picked it up because I enjoy myself a Pokemon game or two. And I have been
pay attention to something else over here.
I've been very pleased with this game. Like it does a lot of things right, a lot of things that needed to be refreshed in the Pokemon formula. It breathes a lot of new life into that. So it's much more active when you're catching or battling Pokemon. Like there's no sort of battle transition. Like you throw a Pokemon out at another Pokemon and the battle is on, and you can move around as they're battling as well. The mechanics are fun. There's a little bit of a difference in the battle mechanics because you can now attach, you can master the moves. Your Pokemon can master certain moves and then attach a strength to them. So there's a strong style and an agile style. And like an RPG, like some JRPGs have this where, they'll tell you the battle order up in the top of the screen. Pokemon Legends does this. And if you pick agile style, you can, if your speed stats are enough, you can actually get 2 hits in. You can get 2 attacks in before your opponent can. If you pick strong style, it's a stronger attack, but as a penalty to that, your opponent can attack twice. So some really interesting push and pull there, a little bit of Bravely Default kind of in that as well. But I'm having a lot of fun just with the exploration. Like a lot of Pokemon games, you know what you're getting, right? Like you go from town to town, and the pathway to the next town is always lined with trainers that you're going to battle. Like there's not a whole lot of surprises there, I think, in your more traditional mainline Pokemon games. This completely throws that out the window. Like most of the stuff that I've been doing in the first couple hours of this game are fighting Pokemon themselves, not trainers, and also catching a whole lot of Pokemon, because to fill your Pokedex, and this game happens in the past, like long before when people have just started catching Pokemon. To fill and complete the Pokedex, you no longer have to just catch your pocket monster. You have to actually do things with them in battle, or catch a certain number of them, or see a certain attack. So it mixes up the formula quite well, and I'm having a blast with it. I'm having a real blast with it, and doing a lot of side quest stuff as well. It has a lot more of that stuff than many of the mainline Pokemon games of the recent past have. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And I caught my Pikachu right before, like an hour or two before the show. Very happy about that. And you can, why are you shaking your head, Greg?
I'm just watching Phil. He's got his Game Boy SP.
You know what's a good game is
God.
is that Astro Boy for
That
GB.
is a good
I don't know
game.
if you've
That
ever
is a
played
good
Astro.
game.
very good
From
game.
Treasure.
It's a really fun game.
CJ,
Yeah.
I do have a serious question about this.
Okay,
So my daughter,
Mhm.
who is really super into Happy Home Paradise, that's the kind
Yeah.
of game she likes. She
Mhm.
mentioned that she might be interested in trying this game, but
Mhm.
she's never played an RPG. She's never played a Pokemon game.
Yep. Okay.
Would this be like how newbie friendly? And I don't just mean new to Pokemon. I mean new to these types of games. Like how would you, what would you think? Now this is the 14-year-old, so it's not the really little one, but it's
right. No, I'd say it's I mean, it tutorializes everything. It's not that difficult. No, I'd say if she's never played a Pokemon game, I think that's perfect because this is very different from any other Pokemon game that's been around.
So the expectations won't be there.
She played any Breath of the Wild?
No.
Okay.
I mean, she might have played a little bit, but she just doesn't gravitate towards. But I think the idea of, I mean, Pokemon are cute, obviously, and I think the idea of of collecting them is sort of speaking to her, right? So she showed some interest. I'd love to. I just need to see if I know somebody who has a physical copy that can lend it to her and just let her try it out before we spend $100 on it.
Idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it just for the spin on Pokemon gameplay, right? Because so much of that story, so much of that gameplay has been, refined over the years, and they haven't changed all that much about it. This changes so many things about it in so many interesting ways that I hope this is the new direction for the series, to be quite honest. Like, it feels like there's so much here that has so much possibility for the future that, this is set in the distant past. Like, they could bring this forward, bring a lot of these mechanics forward, and it'd be pretty interesting, I think. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
Yeah. And I guess that means it's time for tweets. Phil, that's your cue.
Not a boss. Oh, giant eyeball. Okay, hold on here. I'll pause it.
Yeah.
Tweet. Oh, tweet.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Mr. Nelson, who says, "Tell me why Transformers Picross hasn't been made yet, and who at Jupiter can we contact to get that done?"
I wish I knew.
You're more likely to get a Picross knockoff that's Transformers than have Jupiter do it, but that would be cool.
You know what I gotta say? As much as I love Picross and as much as I love Transformers, I have a feeling that a Transformers branded Picross would not be as fun as standard Picross, just because.
Really?
Well, because a lot of the puzzles would probably be just like robot faces that are all kind of the same.
Yeah,
you kind of fall into that same trap that
that's a good point.
What was the one with the creepy little anime girl animals?
Yep. The Kimono Friends.
Yeah.
Where they're all the same puzzle.
All the puzzles kind of felt like the same thing because you're just doing a bunch of little anime character faces.
The same with that what the heck was it? The demon
Nazarick.
Nazarick, yes. Because you just, again, a lot of the bigger puzzles were just anime faces, so they were the same puzzle.
Right.
Like they always had like the big areas that had no blocks at all.
Exactly.
So I think that to make Transformers interesting, you'd need to get more sort of full robot body puzzles, which means that the smaller puzzles would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's probably true.
I'd love to see it, just as a nerd,
as a Transformers fan.
Yeah. But I have a feeling that it would be the puzzles would not be nearly as much fun to play as we would like them to be.
Yeah.
Possible. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Hacker Alias Blarcade says, when Activision gets folded into Microsoft Game Studios, are you more excited about Night Dive level remasters of their back catalog or enhanced remakes like Spyro and Crash games? What new studio from the merger would you like to see tackle a Microsoft legacy brand?
Listen to last week's show to get the answer to this.
Yeah.
Oh, you did this one last week?
Did you? Yeah. Yes, we did.
I didn't realize.
Did you not listen to last week's show?
He doesn't listen to the edits.
I did listen to it, but I
not closely,
didn't while
apparently.
editing. Not closely, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, now I get to answer.
Okay.
I'll get changed to this.
Okay.
I want to see
There you go.
Geometry Wars come back because Activision owned
Oh, there it is.
that from
That's fair.
their purchase of Bizarre Creations. So come on, bring Geometry Wars back to Xbox. This is what the whole purchase was about, I'm sure, right? Bringing
Geometry Wars?
Wars
Yeah, sure.
back to Xbox. Yeah,
I could see that.
it absolutely had to have been, right?
Clearly.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited about that Activision stuff. And one of the things I didn't put in the outline last week that you guys didn't talk about, there was apparently an interview with Phil Spencer where he started mentioning like some classic Activision IP that they could then bring back.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
I wasn't holding my breath for any of that, quite honestly, and I'm still not. But the fact that he mentioned it in an interview gives me a little more hope that might actually happen. so that's good. All right, so let me see, which ones did you not do? Let's do this one from Aurelius Mia Casa, who says, "Do you think if Microsoft would have spent $69 billion on creating $69 billion studios, would it have been better for the games industry?" Of course.
And
why?
sorry, what? Creating new studios? Is that what that? I was too busy saying nice to really listen to the question.
Studios.
Oh, 69 separate $1 million studios. Is that what?
Yeah, 69 billion, creating $69 billion studios. I was just enamored with the number 69.
Yeah, me too.
How come?
It's just distracted.
He does not understand.
Distracted by that. So yeah. Could they have created $69 billion studios? I mean,
sure, they could have. I mean,
sure, why not? But they bought Activision Blizzard for $69 billion so they could have Call of Duty and
get that
Overwatch,
Call of Duty,
World of Warcraft, and all this other stuff, right?
the question is, would that have been better for the games industry? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Activision employs a lot of people. Activision Blizzard employs a lot of people. Yes, they definitely have some major quality of life issues going on, but you know, it isn't the common knowledge at this point that Kotick will be gone once the merger's complete, approved and complete. So I mean, you know, I from what I've heard, working under Phil Spencer is better.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this will be a good thing for the games industry.
There's also the question of, okay, is this kind of consolidation good or bad for the industry? Like,
it's terrible.
Is creating $69 billion studios a great thing or a not so great thing? Like, I would think.
I mean, if they were created as 69 Microsoft studios, wouldn't we kind of be in the same place?
We'd be in the same place, I think. Yeah. But I don't know. It's hard to say whether it's going to be ultimately good or bad for the industry. I think you guys talked about this last week where, you know, Microsoft in the mid 2000s ended up like closing a lot of studios that they had purchased, and Rare was one of the ones that got out unscathed, but you had a lot of studios that were, you know, like Lionhead is probably the biggest of those, but a lot of studios did get closed, and so some of this consolidation isn't always great. Like Disney, remember? The studio
they
that
just want a
second.
cycle.
I mean, they went on a couple-year cycle of, we want to control everything. Oh no, we want to license it out. Oh no, we want to control everything again. Like it's Is this going to be ultimately good? I think yes, until
it's not.
Until the management changes and decides it's not, and then it's going to be bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. I have high hopes for it anyway. Let's see. Let's do this one from
trying to figure it out.
Maybe we just end it there.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, no, let's.
My goodness.
I don't know what I'm reading here.
What? Okay.
All right. We'll just end it.
Okay.
Okay, well, that was
We're just
wow.
because I didn't.
Okay.
So how you doing,
Don't know
CJ?
which ones you had done and which ones you hadn't. So
I see.
and I'm looking at the bottom of this, thinking we won't do that one. All right, let's wrap it up, people. All righty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much. Actually, Greg, you do this part for me.
No.
Oh, he listened to that part of the show.
I listened
Yeah.
to that part.
Yep.
Yeah, he listened to the ending.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries from Mr. Greg Seward.
It's me.
When he does them, you'll find Generation 16 episodes pop up there as well.
It's also me.
And you will find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitter, on the Facebooks, on the Twitch televisions, all those good places. Follow our Twitter account, which is @P1Podcast, to find out when we're doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 specific time. So join us, won't you? If you like what you heard, and how could you? You can head over to patreon.com/P1Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ clearly needs the money to buy new decor for his new home. Look at it. Look at it. It looks just like the Come on,
Looks
man.
just like the old one. Huh?
Yeah,
That's fair.
you know, except with more cardboard boxes sitting around.
That's true.
You know.
I'm glad I have
What do you got?
some of this stuff.
Oh,
though.
nice.
Oh, is that your old marquee?
Pac-Man, marquee,
Got
yeah.
the Pac-Man Plus marquee.
Pac-Man
Get
Plus.
Get that hanging up, man.
Hey, you should.
I will.
You know.
Just put some lights behind it
Oh, he's got his original Pac-Man
nice.
marquee as well.
with
OG
the Midway name on it. That's
Very
cool.
nice.
The Midway name on it. Yeah.
Are those framed?
They are framed. Yeah.
Yeah, framed. What did you get? Like, are those specially made frames or?
No, it was like a create your own frame kit. Basically, you
Okay,
chose
yeah,
the length and then the width, and then put it
Right,
together.
right.
So
Right. Very nice.
yeah,
I have a couple.
those will be up soon.
I have a couple marquees. I should get hanging up as well.
That's one of the last things I want to do in my game room. I have two more prints I want to buy, and then those, along with a couple prints that are sitting there, and an arcade marquee that I want to build a little display box for.
Oh, like
and then
a
my
light box or something.
Yeah, and then my
Right.
game room is as complete as it's going to be.
What marquee is it?
1942.
Ah,
Nice.
yes, of course.
Yes.
Game with special meaning to you. Of
Yes,
course.
speaking of games with special meanings,
Yeah, really. There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
because it's that the game room is built in my dad's old place, and that's kind of the
Aw.
way, not the only way, but one of the ways that I can remember him, while it's still
Right, right.
themed to what we're doing with it.
Absolutely. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
The couple marquees I own do not have special meanings. They were just games I like that I found marquees for at like
Nothing wrong with that.
California
nothing wrong with
Cream
that.
or something like that.
Yeah.
What do I have? I have a Punch Out marquee. I
Ooh,
have a
nice.
Zaxxon marquee and Kid Nicky Radical Ninja. So
Nice.
what else? Oh, you know what though? Your Patreon dollars. That's what we were talking about.
Oh,
Do help support our show. Do help keep it running, keep us streaming every week. And if you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games, crack wise, having fun, doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular shows. CJ, do we have a game for this week?
we do indeed, Phil. We have another Jeopardy game.
Oh, do
Nice.
we? Do
yes. Yes,
From,
we
from
do.
one of our wonderful listeners?
Yes.
Oh, great.
This one
what's
from
that?
Hacker Alias, super okay.
Well, I hope the game is super okay.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, I'm very excited to do that then. Let's see what
Yeah, me
happens.
too. Yeah.
Tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/generation16 to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip. And if you support the show to the tune of $5 per episode,
Also cheap.
you get access to my weekly vlog called The Weekly Commute, where I talk about the development of each new episode, other videos I'm working on. Actually, just after this show tonight, I'm going to be exporting a Let's Read of Expert Gamer number 65, which was the first magazine I worked at Ziff Davis. Worked on.
Love
at
it.
Ziff Davis.
Very nice.
I got hired. Yeah, anyway, I talk about all that stuff, what I've been playing, and anything else I can think of. There will be a game room tour coming up once those last few pieces are in place.
Nice.
So please consider supporting the show.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, right? CJ?
Yeah. Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Welcome back. Welcome to your new place. I hope you are
Yes.
comfortable in the new digs.
Very much so.
Good.
Yeah.
Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you to you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
I hope you are comfortable in CJ's new place as well.
I can't wait to be.
Sleepover at CJ's place.
That's right.
And of course, thank you to our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single one of you. Please, as always, take care of yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, watch over your family, your loved ones, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. And we hope to see all y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.